Okay, I'm going to take a couple minutes here to go over why I made the decisions that I did with the technology that I used for this. So I chose the book So You Want to Be a Wizard because it's my favorite book, and I do believe that it has a very wonderful message in it with a theme of overcoming adversity through teamwork and as well as an anti-bullying message. And I do like to implement SEL in all of my lessons, so I would be able to do that. Now, a lot of people would rather choose the book Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone for that message, but with the way things have gone with that author, I'd much rather not do that. And I also know that So You Want to Be a Wizard is available as an ebook, an audiobook, and as a paper book. I actually own a copy of each. Um, so that allows students to engage with the content in whatever way they choose to. And this is going to be learning standard 9 to 10 R2, determine one or more themes or central ideas in a text that analyze its development, including how it emerges and it's shaped and refined by specific details, objectively and accurately summarize a text. So there's a couple ways you can do that. The most common one in an ELA classroom would be writing an essay, which does require the use of technology through things such as your your word processor, things of that nature. But I am going to allow the students the option to not use technology and do a storyboard, either digitally or on paper. Um, they can prepare a PowerPoint presentation, film it and present it, or present it to the class, depending on timing. They can make a video or podcast and share it with the class. It'll be returned to the student at the end, and all copies that I would have would be destroyed upon feedback being given. I do believe that actually it is completely inappropriate for those things to be kept um, by teachers or schools for persons under the age of 18. I actually think that I have a hard time with the assignment that requires them doing a video or audio presentation that is saved because I believe that no person under the age of 18 should ever be filmed or put on a photograph unless it's by their parent or legal guardian, unless, of course, they commit a crime and we have to do the whole mugshot thing. That's just a belief I have. It's very difficult for me to do that, but I understand that this will help me reach more learners. The technology used would be cell phone, PC, Office 365, Owl, Grammarly, podcast, YouTube video equipment, and Kahoot. So the reason I chose Kahoot here, or potentially like a Jeopardy type thing with a smartboard, is because I know that students will be able to engage with that. They'll be a lot more likely to engage with it than if they were to just be, hey, what's this question? And if we gamify it, they're going to be a lot more likely. Like I can say, who said reading one book is like eating one potato chip? And you might remember that that's the librarian that Nita talked to. You might remember specifically that that's the children's librarian that Nita talked to. You're probably not going to remember that on a first read. You'll remember it, it's your favorite book. But if I talk about it and bring it into the Kahoot, you'll be like, oh, if I remember that, I get points and I remember it faster. And it'll help you to understand more details more quickly, which will also allow the students to go on and do what they want to do the next day. From a non-technology standpoint, I will allow students to work in groups, which would actually require technology if they want to work outside of class. What I mean by that is they'd have to use their cell phone or landline or Zoom or something of that nature if they chose to work outside of class. This gives me multiple modes of engagement as well as multiple modes of expression. So it allows plenty of things to happen with this. Um, Generally, writing an essay is the easiest one, and a lot of students will pick that because they've been doing that since really the first time you write essays is in 5th grade. You get introduced to the 5-paragraph essay there, and by 9th grade you should be at least at a decent level with writing essays. And a lot of times students in 9th grade will not want to do that creative stuff because they'll think it's uncool. But if I implement that throughout the year, it'll allow my students the chance to think about what they could do. It'll allow my students the chance to explore. Now, I did also say that they can suggest their own option, and if appropriate, they will be allowed to do that. And that's because I don't know what every learner wants or needs. That is literally impossible. So if they suggest an option and if it's appropriate, I will allow them to do so. This could come into the idea of designing a video game or writing a movie script based on the book. Obviously, that would be a lot of work. Or like, as long as they do something where it's the base of the assignment, and they show me that they make the understanding, and it's appropriate for a person under the age of 18. So for a student, I will allow them to do that. So yeah. Anyway, those are the reasons why I made this lesson. It's a rather short 2-day lesson because this, as opposed to being a lesson, is more of an assessment. I want to assess the student's skills in a variety of ways and with a variety of things. And of course, like I said, I always want to put SEL standards into my lessons. And this one really just is choosing to work in a group or knowing that you don't work best in a group, which is part of SEL. If you know you don't work best in a group, make sure you don't. That's something that a lot of teachers forget, is that some students work horribly in groups, so they shouldn't be putting their students in groups.